Alrighty y'all, welcome back to Be Modified. Today we're going to be doing some maintenance on the dirt bike. I already did the maintenance to this one a little earlier. I did a spark plug, oil change, adjusted the rear chain. So this one is done, took it for a ride, feels great. Definitely much better than it was. It needed some love, so definitely feels a lot better now. So now we're going to focus on this one. As you saw in the last video, it stopped working on me. So we're just gonna go through, do some maintenance. I have a carb as well. Maybe we'll do that. We'll take a look at this one. But we're gonna be doing oil change, fuel filter, spark plug, adjust the rear chain, possibly the carb. And I'm gonna show you guys what we're gonna use. We have some Honda oil, the 10W40 GN4. We have a NGK spark plug. This is number 7162. And then a fuel filter. I just got this from eBay. And we're gonna do a rear shock. This one's getting real squeaky. I replaced the one on the white one already, so figure we'll just do this while we're at it. Show you guys how to do all this stuff. So we'll jump right into the video. We'll start with the oil change. So here's all the tools that we'll need. Should be a 17mm for the bottom oil drain plug. So what you'll wanna do first, so you want to take the cap off the oil. Make sure we don't lose the O-ring. Oh. So we do that because when we loosen this bottom bolt, the air will let the oil come out a lot faster. So we'll just break it loose. And then we're gonna replace the spark plug. We might replace this CDI box as well. I have a new one. Like I said, I don't know quite what happened, why it stopped working on me. So we're just gonna kind of go through and see as we're replacing if we can figure out what happened. Spark plug is at 18mm. And we'll grab our extension. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. Okay. Looks very wet with fuel. It smells like fuel, so it's good that we're gonna replace it, but the spark plug normally tells you the story of what's going on with the motor. So see how it's a blackish brown? Black means it's running really rich. White means it's running really, really lean if it's real white around the tip. And brown means it's running pretty decent. So if anything, we're running a little rich, but I think we're all right. So like I said, we'll put the new spark plug in, put the oil in, do the CDI box, and then we'll see if she wants to start. If not, then we'll tear the carb apart. I have a new one, we'll just replace it. So always look at your spark plug because that'll tell you the story of what's going on. So we have our new one. So we'll just, the gap looks pretty similar. These should be pre-gapped, so just throw this new guy in. And you don't have to crank this down, you know, just tighten it up pretty snug. There's 2 crush washers on there that'll tighten down when you do it. So just about there. So as you can see, everything looks good. Just go a little bit tighter if I can. There you go, not too much though. So we do that while the oil's dripping out. but the oil doesn't look too bad. So while that's dripping, we'll do the CDI box. Oh, maybe that's why. Just came right out. This thing probably came loose. But you know what, we'll replace it, we'll save this one. But yeah, I think that was our culprit there. Did you see how that just pulled right off? So it wasn't getting any spark. So here's our new one. I just got this from eBay as well. This, and I got a new wire for it as well. We'll just keep the old one on there for now. I think it was like $23 on eBay, so not bad. I have another one coming for that one too. Just, I like to have extra parts laying around in case something goes out. And I want to use it, I have it so that I could get it fixed and get back on the road with it. So we'll throw this guy on. We'll put some dielectric grease in the plug here. There's just one plug under here. Very simple, just plugs right in. So I had some just foam on the back so it didn't rattle. So I'm gonna do the same thing, just put some foam on there so when I zip tie it to the frame, it doesn't rattle around. So we're gonna put our drain plug back in with the 17 millimeter. So we'll just tighten it up with our 17 mil. Okay. We're gonna put our oil in now. Just takes 1 quart. And then we'll just save this and we'll put the old oil in here so we can get rid of it. Then we'll put our dipstick back in. So now that we got the oil back in, the CDI replaced, we'll put a little bit of dielectric grease in this. And we'll put this back on our new spark plug. We'll put a zip tie on there. So now we're gonna throw our fuel filter on. When you do it, just make sure you put it on the same way that you took the old one off. I like to do one side at a time so I could just make sure I'm putting it on right. We'll shut the fuel off here. This is a little bit bigger because I've replaced the one on the white one already. So it just takes a little bit to get on, but. So there's the filter. So what we'll want to do is we'll want to pinch this line here to keep the fuel from coming out of the tank while we replace this. Obviously some's gonna come out. We have our catch pan here, but we don't wanna just let it drip out, you know? So I have a small pair of needle nose vice grips I use. You could go to Harbor Freight and get small hose clamps. I have a set, but they're a little too big, so I'll just use this. This worked. So you just wanna make sure that you clamp it at the highest point, not too tight so it damages the line, but just enough that it keeps the fuel from coming out. Okay, so you just pull that down. These are a little stubborn, so we'll get a little screwdriver in there and just break it free a little bit. Okay, there we go. So now we'll do this one here. Okay. So this portion will go on the bottom. You want to make sure the hose is all the way to the end where it's supposed to be. And then we'll move our clamp back down. Okay. What I like to do is I just like to put a little bit of pressure to spring it back some so it's tight on there. And once you get it started, you could pull your vice grips off. Slide the hose the rest of the way down. Oh. That's what you don't want to happen. Try to put it on the bottom. Okay, got that back on. That was a little stubborn, but we got it. So we want to make sure all these are on. That one's good, that one's good. That's good there. Turn our fuel back on. So we'll put this new filter on. And I don't think we'll have to replace the carb since we did that. I think it's a very similar carb to the one that's on there. So I just bought an extra one just so I have it. But I think it might be a little bit bigger, but we'll cross that road when we get to it. We could do that later in another video. Just knock some of this maintenance out. So these are very simple, easy things you guys can do. Doesn't take a lot of time, doesn't cost a lot of money. Definitely suggest doing it more frequently than not, just because it'll make your bike last a lot longer. So now we'll loop the chain up and we'll put some better tension on this. So we'll put some chain guard on there, some chain lube. And then we'll just... So for this rear tire, we just loosen this up, and then we'll slide the whole axle and tire back, and then we will tighten up this first nut so that it's pressing against the swing arm, and that'll keep it from moving forward more. You don't want it super tight because when you sit down, it puts some slack in there, or it tightens up a little bit, I'm sorry. When you sit down, so it picks the swing arm up. So we don't want it super tight when we do it, but we want to have not this much slop in there. So for the rear axle, it's a 17 mil on this end, and then a 19 on the other ends. But we're gonna try to loosen up these first. This is a 12 mil. Okay, so now we will loosen up our rear axle. We don't want to take it completely off, just want to loosen it up some. So now it'll be able to slide back. So So now we're just gonna put this up against the swing arm. We'll do the same on this side. Okay, so I would think that's pretty good there. Still a little loose, and then when we sit on it, it'll tighten it up. So we'll line our line up there with our rear spring. So now what we'll do is we'll just tighten the axle a little bit, get it just a little bit snug. Yeah, so it has to come in more. That. Okay. Just like that. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and tighten it up a little bit more. Make sure it's lined up. Looks good, chain looks good. So that's pretty tight. So now what we'll do is we'll tighten up our 12 mil nuts to the swing arm. You just want it snug. This doesn't do much, but keep it from moving in. And then we'll get our other nut butted right up to it so that it doesn't move. Okay. And we'll do the other side. Okay. All right, we're gonna replace the rear shock. We put our jack stand underneath our swing arm because when we take the shock off, it's gonna wanna drop down. So that'll keep it up in place. So it's a 14 millimeter and a 13 millimeter to loosen the shock up. And then for the top, we'll see if we get this in there. You can't really see, but it's way up there. Okay. Sorry, you guys won't be able to see this yet. We'll just put our nut on so we can kind of hit it loose. All right. So there's our old shock. So this one, the top goes up and in. The bottom has your adjustment. It's opposite from the other one. So all right, y'all, sorry my GoPro died, but I just got this in really quick. Let's see if you guys can see up there. I just got the bolt through. I put the bottom one in, so we'll get this tightened up. We'll get the top tightened up here. Let's make sure it's All right. So I take all my old oil just to AutoZone. They don't question it, they just give it to them, no problems. So we did the fuel filter, oil change, CDI box, spark plug, rear shock, adjusted the rear chain. Give it a start, see if she wants to fire up. Make sure the fuel's turned on. Yep. Pull the carb up. Let's see. Look at that. First kick. So there we have it. Found the quick, easy fix. You know, sometimes connectors just come undone. No big deal. You know, that's why we go through and do the maintenance that we do. So hopefully you liked today's episode. Let me know if you guys have any questions or comments about any of the parts we used today. Like I said, I got everything from eBay. I'm a big fan of eBay. I feel they have better prices than Amazon, and I'm not trying to help out Jeff Bezos anymore. So yeah, that's why I go on eBay. So I'm gonna just do a couple more things, touch every nut and bolt on here. I don't need to do that on camera, but just make sure you do that because things loosen up. These things are rattle traps. They just vibrate so much, things come undone. So I'm gonna tighten every nut and bolt on these things, just go through it a little bit more. But like I said, thanks for joining. Thanks for watching this episode, guys. And like I said, stay tuned for the Indian Razor giveaway, brand new in the box. Right here, when we hit 1,000 subs, we're giving a brand new one away. So make sure you guys subscribe, watch every episode. I'm gonna ask a question from one of the episodes. Very simple question. First person to answer it is gonna win this Indian Razor EFTR. So have a great day. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Just got the maintenance on the bikes done. I just wanted to show you guys this guy here. I got some new wheels and tires on the Indian. Looks pretty sick. Haven't ridden it yet with the new wheels. I just took it down the block and back. I think I'm gonna do the top speed run and range test either probably tomorrow or next weekend, but I'll try to do it next weekend for you guys for sure. So just wanted to show you guys that. They're both all charged up, ready to go. These guys are fully maintenanced, ready for more action. So stay tuned for some more fun videos. Like I said, make sure to subscribe, please. I'll see you guys later.